Good morning and welcome along to AardvarkJoke episode 19, where we haven't done one of these for a while. So just in case, welcome along to AardvarkJoke episode 1, 2, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And through the magic of editing, one of those numbers will appear, unless I genuinely don't know which episode it is, and we'll just have to sort of just freestyle it.
It was a bold strategy, Cotton, missing out 2 through 10.
Well, I was confident it wasn't 2 through 9, so I thought I'd save myself some time before the joke got even staler than it started off as. It's like it came out the oven already stale.
Excellent.
Like the oven had been left door closed, but just off for weeks. Is, come out the oven, but already ruined. Anyway, I'm joined this week, as is traditional, by Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, I've been very busy this week. I've been trying to map the pufferfish genome by hand.
A much more noble pursuit than the average week. Anyway, this week, what I want to talk about is sayings and phrases, because I think this is sort of hopefully something that won't date too much. It's not overly topical, but this is inspired by two things. Number one, someone pointed out to me a while ago that a phrase or saying you've probably heard all the time, muscle weighs more than fat. And their argument was, well, no, it doesn't. It's like the old ton of bricks and a ton of feathers. A pound of muscle and a pound of fat weigh exactly the same. The comment is meant to be about density, but it doesn't mention the word density at all. It completely avoids the topic of density and merely talks about weight. I took his point on that. It's not even pedantic. It's just true. And then the other one that got me thinking as well is that, if you're watching old films, which is quite easy to do on digital TV, because there's a lot of places that play old cowboy films, particularly in the sort of 1950s and 1960s, you've got, some small town, USA, Americaville, and the guy is taking the gal out on a date, and he's like, "You look $1 million." And then you sometimes occasionally still hear people saying that now, but I'm just thinking that with the way inflation works, $1 million now is worth so much less than $1 million in 1960. So like that comment gets like sort of 3% less effective every year. It's like the guy in the 1960s saying, "You look about $63,000, babe," which is quite a specific amount for a lady to look, or about 57k in the Queen's money. So I feel like there's a lot of things that sayings and phrases that people assume are wisdom, or they just say to sound intelligent, but they just aren't. They just make them. Yeah. The more you think about it, the stupider they sound. Or they're just not relevant. They're just not relevant in modern day society. Put another feather in your cap. No one wears hats anymore. They got rid of it by the 1950s of having to wear a hat outside, or some sort of, I don't know, villain who's be chased out of town. I've never seen them. If I see someone with a feather in their cap now, I look at them very like, this person's a bit weird.
On that theme, I do want to, and we'll circle about this. This isn't for this podcast, but there was sort of the old days where everyone wore a hat, and now no one wears a hat. Did everyone just get together and have some sort of referendum, just decide, right, as of tomorrow, we're not going to start wearing hats out?
Like when Sweden switched the side of a road it drove on in like the mid-60s. Like there was a big event, lots of advertising.
Just everyone took their hats off. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. Another one I feel that hasn't aged very well. Bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very sexual.
Well, even if you don't want to lower the tone of this highbrow podcast, objectively, a bird in my hand or a bird in the bush is equally worthless to me.
Is that because you don't know how to pluck a bird?
Correct. I don't know how, unless that bird is, already pre-butchered in my hand.
A more appropriate phrase for you would be a bird which has already been butchered, defeathered, and shrink wrapped and refrigerated is worth about £5.99.
Yeah. Also, do you know what? A refrigerated, all that good stuff bird in my hand isn't worth 2 in the bush. Much rather have 2 for the price of 1. It's cost of living crisis on.
Yeah. Also, even the phrase itself, it's internal logic. What it's saying is that stuff you own is better than stuff that you might get. But for 2 in the bush, you could end up with 0. Like the two in the bush have a fairly difficult to determine value.
Schrodinger's birds.
Yeah, at no point was anyone in the Middle Ages saying,
especially if they're the two birds that have been killed with one stone as well.
Yeah. So
unless are they any more valuable? Are they more valuable ones?
I don't know. Maybe if they're like killed by stone by hand rather than by mass factory stone throwing.
Organically stoned.
Yeah. It's what you're really saying there is a bird in the hand is of some value. Two birds in the bush, just don't even worry about it. A bird in the hand is worth one stone thrown in the future to kill two birds. Like it's circles with circles, and it's completely meaningless.
Yes, and then how many cooks do you want to have to make a broth out of those two birds that have been killed with one stone?
Also, what sort of Michelin star chef has gone to, culinary school for 6 years or like a sushi chef or something, like an incredibly high skill talent? What do? I make broth. Oh, you don't even make soup. What sort of restaurant sells broth? Like, these are the places that don't even give you gravy, they give you jus. Chips in a North England jus. Like, honestly, there's so many things. I think there's a lot of potential here because there's basically people just generally talk a lot of nonsense, and that's where this podcast really exceeds.
Yeah, we demonstrate it so you don't have to. So yeah, I mean, joke-wise, I mean the never-ending bird tangent could work, and loop it back to the stones issue. Yeah. Followed up by the broth. That was good. I like that. Having a go at I like the North England jus. Obviously, yes, the sayings that haven't caught up with inflation. I mean, potentially you look $1 million, you look like 750 Bitcoin. That's probably going to appeal. That's probably going to appeal to Gen Z. Also, that's quite a fluctuating currency. So by the end of a meal and the start of a meal, she'd be worth totally different amounts. Also, horse door stable bolted. No one needs a horse. Yeah, do horses bolt? I feel like horses aren't going to run away from where they get fed. I can't imagine the standard of horse training has increased significantly, unless it's like sports science, where you've now got 39-year-old professional athletes and sprinters and ultramarathon runners. Maybe the science of horse training has also improved significantly. Well, probably more horses do dressage now than they did in the old days. Probably, yeah. There's also a lot of knife crime on the streets these days, if you read the news. So maybe the horses are staying in the stable because they're concerned about being ended on the street. Maybe, yeah. So what we're saying is, does that mean the criminals are opening the stable door to try and get the horse to bolt? I'm just saying, if you keep your horse in a rough area, which is, where most stables are, then the horses will naturally stay inside. Like how, urban cats don't go out as much and all that, because they don't want to get hit by cars in the road. I see. Different type of urban, though. Yeah, there's that. I'm sure, like, this feels like it should be a very good, funny topic. Just trying to find that killer phrase. The killer one. The killer saying. I would point out there's a couple of phrases here. So I did, in preparation for this episode, I did just Google how other search engines are available. Just phrases. And you Googled other search engines? Yeah, I Googled Ask Jeeves, and then I asked Jeeves what Bing thought. And so on the list, the random list I happen to have found on the internet, so under K, it's alphabetized. Keep your chin up. Okay. Fair enough. Kill two birds with... Why is that fair enough? Why are we giving keep your chin up? Because I think, actually, unfortunately, different body... What am I saying here? It's one of those physical things that impacts your physiology. Like if you force someone to have their shoulders hunched out, those kind of things can very subtly affect their mood. If you force them, if they trudge, whereas if you walk, and if you keep your chin up, you get more air into your lungs, don't you? So while it sounds like nonsense, there is, I think, some truth in some of that stuff. Oh, I'll let that slide just this once. Cool. So K, filed under K, for kitchen. Keep your chin up. Yep, fair enough. Kill two birds with one stone. Kill the goose that lays the golden egg, open brackets, S, close brackets. Obviously some variation there. Kill the chicken to scare the monkey. Sorry, Internet, what are you on about?
I can only assume it's either a phrase from non-Anglosphere countries which have been translated, or it must be an American one. But
kill the chicken. Oh wait, are those the two birds you kill with one stone? The golden goose and the chicken that scares the monkey.
Yeah. So what they do is they use the stone, they kill both geese, so there's no more golden eggs.
No, they kill one goose. They kill the one goose that.
Do you reckon it's like?
And they kill a chicken to scare the monkey, and then the too many cooks make that broth.
Do you reckon? Yeah, good shout. Or they're
then the many hands serve it because that's light work.
Or they're a militant group, and what they do is they basically execute a goose in front of they execute the chicken in front of a monkey to really scare it.
So is the monkey also in the bush?
Bush or tree, same thing really. Bushes and trees, aren't they? They're just outside. They're big plants. They're plants which are too big for the house.
I see. So I assume in my hand I have one bird that is worthless and a stone.
Maybe then this is the joke. Actually,
next to me, there's a bush that has a chicken, a goose that lays golden eggs, and a monkey.
Yeah,
and that monkey's been talking smack talk and letting horses out of the stables. So he's a bit this is it. Just you just merge them all into one ridiculous
or merge two quote unquote well-known phrases, and then like maths, so you can cancel out the words which are the same and therefore get a new phrase which is actually ridiculous. I think that is where the joke is.
That is funny, and this podcast is the epitome of many hands making light work.
Many chefs making a light jus. Right, that is actually the joke. That is combining two well-known phrases just with the same words. If X equals Y and Y equals Z, therefore X equals Z, and that is wisdom. So,
are you gonna enter your special joke writing space?
I am going to. We will pause there for what is probably going to be the shortest product of a podcast we ever get, because it's essentially going to be about 7 words.
Reasonably quick. 18.5 months later.
I always find it quite fascinating when you chat to people and they're just trying to dole out wisdom, because most of it, I'll be honest with you, I don't think is kept up with the modern world. Saying someone looks $1 million is great, but think about the returns you get on crypto. And it could have been you look 750 bitcoins now, but by the end of the meal, only about 450 because of the rampant growth. But what I like to think is that because from a mathematical perspective, wisdom is additive, so you can really add these phrases together to come up with even more wisdom than you had before. If you haven't got a bird in the hand, don't even bother chucking stones to kill geese or 2 geese that lay golden eggs. Just talk about submarines, and the careless talk will end all that poultry in your bush straight away.
Very good. I
feel like that could do with an ever so slight refinement, but I do like the premise of smashing the phrases together to get meaningless drivel.
It's some that people will get and others won't get.
Yeah, careless talk does cost lives.
Your show's not that inclusive anyway.
Careless whispers. If you're get confused between wisdom and a classic dance song. Mr. Peterson, is there anything you would like to add to the show this week?
I'd just like to say I've had a lovely time.
I've been edging. This has been AardvarkJoke, episode 19, probably. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again next time.